What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Figure It Out of the Basement's action figure talk show. I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
What's up, guys?
And today, we're going to be sort of giving our dream archive wave currently in the year 2021.
Yeah.
Because recently there was an archive wave announced in the pipeline that mostly solid choices for figures.
Emperor Palpatine, Skiff-Guard Lando, Dengar, and C-3PO, which is a pretty solid archive line, of course, with the controversial pick being Lando Skiff-Guard version, because you can actually find that figure cheaper in the red and black box on Amazon, cheaper than $20, cheaper than $22.99, like the archive will be.
Right. This sparked the idea in our brain. We did do a video a while back of archive figures we would like to see.
Right.
And we've gotten plenty of great archive figures, but there's still quite a few Black Series figures that are either in need of an update or just in need of a re-release because they're insanely expensive.
Absolutely.
So we've got 4 picks here that we think should be released in the archive line instead of things like Skiff-Guard Lando.
Right.
So if Patrick and Eric are watching, here's some free ideas.
Right. And generally speaking, we're fans of the archive line.
Absolutely.
Because we do not care about reselling. We do not care about the value of our figures. We care about things looking cool on shelves. So if archive means more collectors, more of our friends can get their hands on stuff that they maybe weren't collecting at the time.
Right.
Or was just too hard to find. Like some of these. We're fans of that. We're fans of re-releases. I don't care about my original figures getting devalued.
Right.
I think a lot of people get pissed off about that, but I'm like, nah, Hasbro, keep re-releasing the super desirable stuff.
Absolutely. Even remember when the archive line was first announced, the outrage that it sparked.
And like those first couple of waves were bangers, like Darth Maul, Anakin, Boba Fett, Bosk,
literally
Yoda,
collection value destroyers.
Right.
Tons of great figures have already been re-released.
Some troops
in the archive. But let's jump into our dream archive wave list here.
I think it's also important to note that an archive treatment isn't always the right answer for a figure.
That is true.
So Slave Leia or Hut Slayer Leia, not going to be on this list, needs to be completely redone.
True.
An archive would not save that figure, just like an archive treatment is not saving Obi-Wan Kenobi Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
And because that's like a unofficial rule of archive, is the only thing that will change on the figure is a photoreal deco update where applicable. You will not get new mold, you will not get new detail. The paint might vary, such as the IG-88, but we think that's only because it was like a fresh pressing of the figure.
Minor details are changed, but no new sculpting, no new molding to be had. So the first one that we thought would be appropriate for an archive release, a figure we don't think should actually get a re-release or a new version of, and that is the Sand Trooper.
The orange pauldron.
You guys know we love the orange pauldron Sand Trooper. We love all the Sand Troopers, but that classic orange pauldron Sand Trooper is so fantastic. So many great accessories. Not only do you get the E11, but then you get the longer weapon, and then you get the vacuum blaster. You get the backpack. Most of those would not be included in a new version of the Sand Trooper. They would probably give the E11 to the figure, and that's it. And the backpack.
Right.
Because the backpack's iconic.
That is why, that and the detail on the figure, the sand blasted detail, the dirt, the sand, the grime. They've never replicated the Sand Trooper detail ever again, and it's all over the figure. It's on the back of the figure. It's in every nook and cranny, crevice of that figure, and Hasbro would not be able to do that today. Like if they were to take the Sand Trooper, put it on the new Stormtrooper body, it would come with less accessories, less paint, less details, less proportions, because another thing about the Sand Trooper, best Stormtrooper proportions I think they've ever done. It's a separate mold from the Stormtrooper. It blows my mind that they would make a different mold for the Sand Trooper and like have 2 different Stormtrooper molds.
Right.
But the Sand Trooper mold is amazing.
Yeah.
Specifically, like, the helmet. It's so good. It's very, very accurate. And it's actually our favorite Black Series figure.
Yep. And unlike things like Skiff Guard Lando, if you were looking to get a Sand Trooper, you'd be looking to spend about $45 these days on the aftermarket, which is the only way to currently get the figure. So...
yeah, this is according to Action Figure 411. They have the high, the low, and then an average. So we're kind of using the average numbers here for price. And it's a troop builder, army builder. I think army builders are a great idea for Archive.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely would just buy another Sand Trooper just because.
Yeah.
Just because.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be our first choice. Again, a figure that does have some moderate value to it and is a figure that we both think should just get an Archive version. No new version.
Yeah, no new version.
Just Archive. Unless that new paint technology that they're trying out on Muddy Mando turns out to be okay, then maybe we could get a new one. But
you know,
that
they'd
remains
still
to be
skimp
seen.
out on the accessories. Though.
Right,
That's
right.
like the thing. You get so much for such a small cost.
Yeah.
But coming up next, it's Princess Leia Boushh, the Boushh Bounty Hunter version from Return of the Jedi, which I believe we will get this one anyway with the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. But as of right now, you know, according to Action Figure 411, $64.23 on average. Pretty pricey.
Yep.
It gets even worse as we go along.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just needs a photoreal update. Like we said, Archive, the only thing they would change is photoreal, and I think that'd be fine.
Right.
Because I think Boushh Leia is a fine-looking figure. It's not super articulated like the modern Black Series are, but it doesn't need to be.
Right.
It
Because
just stands there and looks cool.
you kind of just, you're going to stand her next to Han, frozen in carbonite,
Right.
and you're going to call it a day. But it's for the Jabba's Palace display, which is ever growing. Also, not in this video, but Jabba the Hutt archive release. Deluxe archive release.
Or just, re-release the SDCC set with Salacious.
Now, some people do say Boushh Leia is a little too big, but I personally kind of think that other Leias are too small.
Yeah.
So
It almost makes sense that it would be too big, because she's like a smaller woman in like clearly an outfit that was not hers.
right.
So, and yeah, like you said, the other Leia figures are way too small. They're almost not even like human proportions.
Yeah.
Especially Slave Leia.
Yeah, Slave Leia is like a 4-inch scale figure. Like, she's literally tiny.
Right.
I do agree with you, though. I think we're going to get this figure for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. But personally, as someone who does not have a Boushh Leia at all, I would absolutely love to get one and put it on the shelf and actually have an updated photoreal version to go along with that as well. So the next one that we have for you is a figure that kind of peg-warmed when it came out, if we're going to be completely honest.
It came and went.
But I saw her often.
Yeah.
And her droids. And
Yeah.
we're talking about Dr. Aphra, of course, who currently goes on average for $101.
That reminds me of like back in the Orange Line and Blue Line days when like Anakin and Darth Maul would both be going for over $100.
Yep.
That is insanity. That an average price for a 6-inch Black Series, not even that old, would be over $100. But I guess maybe more people started liking the comic?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, obviously, if you don't know, Dr. Aphra is a comic book character, apparently very popular these days.
Right.
She also has 2 droid figures who also have Black Series figures, and they're also insanely expensive,
they are also
too.
Insanely expensive. We didn't go just on price
Right.
for these, because if we did that, they would all sort of be, like, really, all 3 of those might have been on, like, a most expensive right now. It's constantly updating.
Right.
And
But
it's kind of like the stock market. I really like the Action Figure 411 Black Series page.
Yeah, because we asked our members of our Discord, cheap Discord plug, link in the description. Absolutely insane price. Again, another figure that's a perfect example of something that should be re-released other than $18 Skiff Guard Lando on Amazon with free prime shipping.
And lastly, we have a clone. You know we love our clones on here. This is a clone commander. This was mainly like a pick from the Discord. Mentioned a bunch, but then I saw it was going for 81.73 on average in the aftermarket. It's not even that old. And we're talking about Commander Fox. I believe this was a 2019, like, Force Friday around that time.
Well, it started out as a GameStop exclusive.
Right,
and
but we were trying to find it on Force Friday, I remember, because they were popping up.
And then it was also a Barnes & Noble exclusive, and it was also, at the time, a peg warmer. I found loads of Commander Fox back in the day when he was in print, available at GameStop, available at Barnes & Noble. Now, I do understand that people weren't collecting back then, and other people's areas are different. Mm-hmm. But around us, he was clogging the pegs for a little while.
And same thing with that 3PO, the Walgreens one.
Right.
But this is on the old clone body. We don't like the old clone body, but if it's an archive, because they did the Commander Cody, I'm like, to maintain consistency, just do the Commander Fox figure.
Right.
Because some people were thinking like, oh, we're going to get a removable helmet with Commander Cody. No.
And on top of that, I'm pretty sure he's the last clone commander that needs a re-release. I'm pretty sure every other commander...
Gree, Wolf, Rex, Bly got a re-release as well.
Yeah, they've all gotten re-releases except for Fox. So I think it makes sense. I think Fox is definitely going to show up in the archive line.
I hope so, yeah. There's a lot of people that, like, Fox is the only one they're missing.
Right.
I'm like, ooh, that would not feel good.
Just remember back in the day when people weren't buying Commander Fox on principle because of the whole fives scenario.
Right. Season 6 of the Clone Wars.
Right. Yeah. I just remember comments at the time. Why would they make a figure of Fox?
Yeah. Fox is another example of an animated Clone Wars
figure
in
realistic.
A live-action theatrical look to the figure.
No.
Another point for Justin.
No. I've already made my claims. I'll take clones either way.
Right. He just looks cool.
Yeah.
I like
Great
the
design.
look of Fox. Coruscant Guard. It'll go with the one that's coming in the Bad Batch if we ever get that figure here in the United States.
And he of course looks great with the current Coruscant Guard from the Order 66 4-pack if you were fortunate enough to have that as well. So definitely all of these figures need a re-release. There's tons of more Black Series figures that need re-releases or updates. So of course we'd like to hear from you. What figures would you like to see make it into the archive line specifically? Comment down below.
Shadow Stormtrooper from Target?
That's my dream.
Or the Shadow Scout? The Crimson Trooper? I think they should start doing, like, some single releases from previous, like, years past 4-packs.
Yeah.
Such as the Crimson Trooper or, like, the Senate Guard. Like, it's like a Clone Wars and a Phantom Menace Attack of the Clones figure. So it's like, I think that should get a regular release. Crimson Trooper. There's, like, tons from, like, those old 4-packs that they should do as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, since 3PO's coming, I want to say R2 should get one, but obviously we would prefer an updated astromech.
Yes.
Because it's not accurate at all, scale-wise. But if they were never going to do a new one, I'm like, at least put it in the archive so people can have 3PO and R2. Arguably the most iconic duo of all time.
Yep. Because even I don't have an R2, and I would probably just buy the Black Series version to say I have the Black Series version.
Right.
So
you never got Dagobah?
Well, I do have Dagobah, but I mean a clean R2, not a dirty.
With all those accessories.
Right. So, yeah, let us know your picks for figures you'd like to see in the archive line in the comments down below. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We are dangerously close to 8K. We just passed 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5 is a nice round number. We are 75% of the way there before I get my Max Rebo tattoo.
Yes, and before another giveaway.
Yes.
I don't know what that could be, but make sure you also join us every single Sunday at 1 p.m. right here on the channel for our weekly live streams where we just kind of catch up with Black Series stuff. talk with the chat, hang out, whatever. It's super laid back. It's a lot of fun, something we enjoy doing on Sunday. Most of the time we have a guest as well, who's usually someone from the community as well. Right. So it's always a good time to just sit back and talk about some figures. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
See you guys later.
And we will see you all next time on Out of the Basement.